Hey, welcome back. So, you want to know how to counter Shulk, huh? How could you? Nah, I'm just joking. It's fine. That is, as long as you don't use any of this information against me, of course. I'm not biased. But before we figure out how to counter Shulk, we're gonna wanna break down Shulk's game plan and gameplay. And to do that, we're gonna go inside the mind of a Shulk player. Maybe a little bit too realistic. Maybe just a breakdown of a more broader variety of terms. With that being said, let's actually break down the complicated version of Shulk's gameplay and game plan. Spacing, speed, pacing, and arts. 4 things that Shulks basically rely on. Now I know that 3 of those things characters already have, but for Shulk, they are extremely important to his game plan. So we'll be breaking those down today. Now the first one I want to talk about today is spacing, because other than arts, it's probably the most important one you want to focus on to counter Shulk, or even just playing him in general. It's a great way to just learn the character and the matchups and just everything. Shulk's 2 greatest moves for spacing are both his neutral air and his forward air. Now the only downside to these 2 moves, or really just where Shulk as a character really falls apart, is the speed of these moves. I mean, his fastest aerial is frame 13, that being his neutral air, and it starts behind him. So Shulk's speed is not a area where he shines in, which is another segment that we'll be getting into later. But that's enough about his speed. We're gonna stay on topic and keep talking about his spacing potential, which is his best one by far. He is insane at spacing, whether that be with arts, without arts. He just has some of the best spacing ever. I mean, he's got a giant sword with a laser attached to it. What do you expect? But now that you have a pretty rough understanding about how Shulks are going to space, this is how to counter said spacing potential, or like just ruin all of his potential, right? So the thing about Shulk is that massive hitboxes, but they're not fast. So if you have a character like Fox or Pikachu that can just get in on him, he can't do anything. Which brings us to the next point. Speed. This is Shulk's downfall. Now in the clip behind me, this Shulk player is making great use of their Monado arts, which is how you should play Shulk against a good opponent, because with in this matchup, I'm sorry, but without the speed Monado art, he'd be getting cooked right now. I mean, I'm not saying I'm anywhere near the level that these players are on, but I mean, let's be real. Without the speed art, Joker would just be like destroying Shulk. He's just too fast and Shulk's just too slow. Which is why Shulk players, including myself, will try to make Shulk seem as fast as possible by just like short hop, fast fall into like a bunch of short hop, fast fall aerials. But in reality, if you can catch him on the downtime between one of those aerials, you could get in like a clean grab, a clean jab, a clean tilt attack, And if you have good timing, probably even like a good smash attack. If you're like strong enough, like Little Mac or something. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say for the speed section. It's that speed beats Shulks. And Shulks will try to seem like they're fast. They can use their speed art. They can fast fall, short hop. But I'm sorry, no matter how hard Shulks try, Shulk just can't be a fast character. And speed will beat him. And as a Shulk player myself, I will still try to make Shulk seem like a fast character. And there are times where you can be fast, sometimes, but you know, on to the next section. Now the thing about Shulks is that they're basically always in control of what the pacing is going to be of the match. If they want it to be slow, it's probably going to be slow. If they want it to get fast, it'll probably get fast. And while this is thanks to tools like the shield art, the speed art, this isn't to say that he can't do any of this in his base form. He's still great at pacing. I mean, pacing and spacing, they really go hand in hand. And spacing is Shulk's greatest area, other than arts, of course, so it tracks. Now, as for countering it, there's not necessarily much you could do. It all really depends on the character. But a general basis advice I'd give for most characters is to just accept it and just adapt to it. Because, I mean, Shulks really control the pacing of the match, unless there's a more controlling character, which is there really that much characters that are better than him at pacing. So the most you can do is to just accept it and adapt. Which is why characters like Mario and Ganondorf struggle to control the pacing against Shulk, because Ganondorf is slow and Mario doesn't have range. And Shulk can easily override basically all of Mario's attacks. And speed is really the only thing that can beat Shulk, so that's why Ganondorf falls and Mario falls. That's really all I wanted to talk about Shulk's pacing. It's that Shulks basically always have control of it with their arts and such. And the most you can do, if you can't override his pacing control, is to just adapt to it, because there's really not much you can do. Now at this point you may be thinking, okay Jack, you've just gone way off track. How am I going to figure out how to counter Shulk when I'm just learning about Shulk? I mean, the arts, how am I going to use the arts to my knowledge to counter Shulk? It's just basically a buff for him. However, if you said that sentence just now, it proves how much you need this video. Because the arts are not what they seem. While yes, each art does heavily improve one of Shulk's main stats, it also, like, by 50% decreases one of his other stats. Which is why I've conducted a chart to show you which Monado arts affect which stats. And then afterwards, I will do a brief summary of each Monado art. Okay, so that was a breakdown of each Monado art. So the first one I wanted to just go over briefly was the Smash art. Basically, it's just high risk, high reward, you know? More knockback dealt and more knockback taken. For the Buster art, it's the exact opposite. It's more damage dealt, but also more knockback taken. For the shield art, it's less knockback taken, so you can survive to like crazy high percents. But really every other stat is decreased. For speed, you take more knockback and you jump shorter. And the last one is jump. And it gives you higher everything in the air, but it's more knockback taken. So if you get like smacked in the air or something, you could probably end up dying. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to cover today, and that's really all you need to cover. I mean, people kind of overestimate Shulk. He's not really that good as people say he is. People say he's like bottom of S tier. I'd say he's like middle of A tier, but that's okay if you're still struggling with him. I mean, he's an insane matchup for some characters. So I just made this video in hopes to help people, even though I am a Shulk main. But you know, I have a lot of knowledge of the characters, so why not like help some people grow at the game? But yeah, that's really it. See you in the next video.
Yeah. Tick-tock, heavy like a Brinks truck, looking like I'm tick-tock, shining like a wristwatch. I'ma grab your wrist, lock it down to the thing pop. Can you stick around for a minute till the rain stop? Please God. Tick-tock, heavy like a Brinks truck, looking like I'm tick-tock, shining like a wristwatch. I'ma grab your wrist, lock it down to the thing pop. Can you stick around for a minute till the rain stop? Please God. As time keeps slipping away,